What was the Oval Office meeting with Zelensky really about? Was this their plan if Zelensky didn't go along with their deal, so-called deal? Was it intended to put Zelensky's life in danger? Was this a way to distract us from some other news? And if so, what other news? Let's look into all that. Welcome to Scrying Out Loud. My name is Trevor. First of all, thank you to everybody who subscribes, watches, likes, comments on the videos. Those of you that have given money to the channel, a big thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's look into this. I think from the comments on yesterday's video, a lot of us were very disturbed by the meeting. I also wanted to thank everybody that participated in the economic blackout and encouraged people through the community posts saying how they were doing it. I think that was really great. Okay, back to the meeting. I think a lot of us were very disturbed. I got phone calls from friends I hadn't spoken to in a while who asked a very simple question. Are they overreacting to this craziness? Like, is this craziness really supposed to make us feel like we're the only people that realize what's going on? Like, is the crazy some people make you feel like you're overreacting to the crazy. I have some of those people in my life. They'll say, "Oh, the only thing you can do is, hope for the best." Well, I actually think we can do other things, right? And we've talked about that on this channel. So friends reaching out about that. So I decided to I had not planned on making a video for today. I had planned on taking the day to rest and recuperate and all of those things. And I was meditating this morning and I kept hearing the phrase stand back and stand by, which is what the felon said to the Proud Boys in a debate with uh, Secretary Clinton. And I thought, why am I hearing this over and over again? And I tried to get some more images, and the other image I got was actually a comment that somebody made, and it just was there visually, and it said nobody's talking about the Epstein documents that came out yesterday. And of course, his meaning the felons, DOJ planned the release of those documents. So they very well could have timed this. And you might say, well, then the whole White House Oval Office debacle was planned. Perhaps. But if they had gotten a deal and Zelensky had agreed to some really huge concessions, wouldn't have that taken up the news cycle too? So I don't know. Let's look at and see if the tarot can help us answer some of these questions. So let's just start by asking, were the actions of the felon and the person second in charge, the junior varsity player, let's call him that, the actions of the felon and the junior varsity player intentional, or were they a result of Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, standing up and not being bullied? I feel like it was plan B. I feel like they had planned on doting him around the whole day if he had signed a deal. And there was this planned signing that didn't take place after they removed him from the White House. Shows to this. Yeah, I'm seeing the Eight of Pentacles, which sometimes is, if one plan doesn't work, try another. It's the end of a cycle. I think that's the truth. This is, I believe, the end of a cycle. And we can read on this too. I think this is the end of any hope that the Europeans are going to trust the United States. Why, while the felon is there? I think many of them might release statements, and some I think already have kind of to this effect of we support the people in the United States, we do not support this administration. The challenge is victory, whatever victory might look like to, I think this actually applies to both Zelensky and the felons administrations. I think their ideas of victory look different, but I think that's ultimately was the goal to, the felon wanted to claim victory. Zelensky just wants like a victory, a way out of this war that's kind of in lines with UN norms and keeping people safe. But we get the devil card, and you saw this on full display. This is exactly what the devil card energy was. What was coming out of junior varsity is exactly the devil energy. It's abuse of power, it's mis and disinformation. Maybe you should say thank you. Maybe you should say thank you. I think CNN put together a montage of 37 thank yous that Zelensky personally had said while they were around, something along those lines. So that was a lie. Zelensky has been very humble when asking for help from the United States. So the second in charge, the junior varsity, that was exactly the devil card, as was the felon. Jumping on this bandwagon of disinformation, you don't have strong cards, is what he told Zelensky. And Zelensky just merely replied, I'm not here to play cards, as into saying this situation is much more complicated and much more serious than you're making it. It's not just about minerals. It's about whether if we sign a ceasefire, that there's an enforcement mechanism to it. Right? There's no sense in signing a ceasefire if you're just going to let Putin come in and violate the ceasefire. And, and Zelensky also rightfully pointed out that Russia was occupying Ukrainian territory while the felon was president the first time, and the felon didn't do anything about it. In the past, we have the cup for the Democrats or Joe Biden in particular. Back when we had consistency and steadiness on how the situation was being handled. We're currently in the energy of the wheel of fortune. Things are spinning. Are they spinning in favor of Putin and the felon? Are they spinning in favor of Zelensky in Europe? That is something hopefully we can get to the bottom of. Uh, we have three of the five cards are major arcanas. There's a lot of energy about this today. So if you're feeling like you're thinking about it, so is everybody else. Even MAGA people, the people that voted for the felon, are thinking about this. Near-term outcome, we're going to get news. It's going to start coming quickly. A message coming forward, some sort of offering. I wouldn't be surprised if they're working behind the scenes to try to reassure European allies and maybe even trying to get Zelensky to come back and rethink his stance. I don't think it'll work. What is this about? It's about families. It's about peace. It's about harmony. It's about coming together as a group of nations that are supposed to be supporting one another, and perhaps we're not. And, Vice President Harris very astutely said, Putin's not going to stop at the border of Ukraine. And that's what we get in the hopes and fears. We get the worries about the people in Poland, the people in Romania, the people in the countries that border or are near Ukraine. They're very concerned about what's going on, as is the American voter, because we just saw the person who's occupying the White House side with a murderous dictator and then list off a list of how him and the dictator have suffered together through what the Democrats have done, which is utter nonsense. Here's the Eight of Pentacles. This was the idea. If they couldn't get him to do it, they had another plan in store. And that other plan was to create this scene. I think they might have quietly, not quietly, I think they would have signed a deal if Zelensky had agreed to it, and they would have touted it. And he still would have praised Putin and all that stuff, but it wouldn't have been the absolute embarrassment that we saw. This is a new beginning around money. Ukraine can no longer rely on the United States. That's just point blank what that's about. And this is causing a lot of anxiety. It's causing anxiety for me, might be causing anxiety for you. It's certainly causing anxiety for Zelensky, the people in Ukraine, the people running Ukraine, the people just living in Ukraine, and possibly even some well-informed younger people in Russia. Underneath, we got a surprising new beginning. Ain't that the truth? It was surprising. Although I don't know if it should have been, but it was surprising. Isolation. This is Zelensky. He feels like he's alone, but he also knows that he's not. He might feel that way, but he intellectually knows that he's not, that Europe will be there. And, the United States is playing this off as if we have no money to spend on Ukraine. That's what the miser card's about. But things are going to come to the surface, and we're going to get some more information about what this actually was about. So I cannot think of any other display that was more embarrassing to the United States than that particular display that we saw yesterday. I just can't. So if Zelensky won't sign a deal, and this deal is super important, meaning the mineral deal, although I don't think it's actually will be that successful because it takes years to harvest minerals, and the next president will probably just undo it anyhow. But this idea of being able to tout how much money they're saving, how much money it's resonating with people, that's scary. We need to make sure that when people say things to us about it, that we point out that it's at the expense of Alzheimer's research. It's at the expense of the fact that we might not have a flu vaccine next year. It's at the expense of a lot of things. So certainly protect yourself, but if you can, don't leave things unchallenged. If people are saying things. Okay. So was this intended to put Zelensky's life in danger? And then we'll read whether his life is in danger as well. But was this intended to put Zelensky's life in danger? Was it a crying call to the MAGA cult and to the Russian sympathizers, perhaps and there are Russian sympathizers inside Ukraine and in inside other Eastern nations. Was this the trip to Germany? Was that all part of it too? Was that like a rallying cry, like a dog whistle to go after Zelensky? Was this intended to put Zelensky's life in danger? I don't think the US government's actually going to put his, like, try to assassinate him, but are they hoping other groups do? I'm seeing that like flashing yes sign. I think this was always plan B, was we can have you removed. I mean, we get the world card again as the signifier card. This is a huge ending to the world as we knew it. I'm not saying that it's going to end up really traumatic and really bad. I'm not sure where we're headed. Uh, Part of me feels like Europe might pull it back. And a lot of the images I've gotten, it's like Europe stays united and they're strong. And Putin is so weak that he can't really do anything about it. And the Felon's administration is so inept, they don't know how to do anything about it. So that's a yes card. So it's intended to put Zelensky's life in danger. The problem is they don't want people to know that that was their intentions. That's the sun card, full illuminations. Again, two major arcana off the bat. There's a lot of energy flying around. Three major arcanas. There's things that we can't see. The high priestess, dark energy that we just can't see. And in this case, I think it is dark in the terms of like malevolent. In the past, we had a message. This was the communications between the United States and Zelensky. We get the tower card explosions, the complete collapse of negotiations. Now, they might try to say that they're back on track. They're not. Fiery new beginnings in the near term outcome. Could we see the European Union start to trade differently, starting to leave the United States out of things? It wouldn't surprise me. No longer informing the United States on intelligence. I think that's already happened, but I think that'll be to a greater extent. And they might actually even say it out loud. We're not including the United States in our intelligence gathering. We have illusion and delusion. This also can be drugs and addiction. And, you know, junior varsity will do anything to get daddy's attention, so to speak, because currently Elon has that. And he's been behind the scenes. But it was so out of control. It does make you wonder, what was the influence? It doesn't have to be drugs, but it's like something that's delusional influencing those actions. Defending oneself, they're going to spend a lot of time defending what they've done. They're going to recruit other people, and so far they've been pretty successful at doing it. These things are tenuous. The hopes and fears is thinking about the next generation. It's a hope. The outcome, we get circles of support around money. And I think this is for Ukraine. There's going to be circles of support and money for Ukraine. It's just not going to be as much. And they're not going to have the weapons already produced like the United States does. The United States had basically been giving weapons that already existed, and then we're building new ones to replace the ones that they gave. With the Two of Swords, this is a crossroads for the world. And we get new partnerships forming, new alliances. I hate to say it, but I think this is Republicans going along with the Felon and starting to talk nice about Putin. That's what that card feels like. Surprising new beginnings, the Ace of Cups, deceit, deception, thievery, Seven of Swords, planting the seeds, the Devil card, abuse of power, manipulation, holding things over one's head, trying to keep them in bondage. You can see that imagery at the bottom. But there is strength, and I think we'll hear about it soon. And Ukraine does have the Star of Hope on its side. So, was this intended to put Zelensky's life in danger? I think so. Did it actually put his life in danger any more than it already was? I mean, clearly Ukraine's in the middle of a war, so his life is in danger. Let's see what we can get from this deck here. It was Zelensky's well-being. Is Zelensky safe? Well-being. The current state of his safety. What is Zelensky's state of his safety? I've seen the Nine of Wands. That's good. That's like the weary warrior card. It's, putting up guardrails to ensure safety. An end of a dark cycle for him. This also can be complete and utter downfall. I get a little bit of that, but not in. It could just be the complete and utter downfall of the relationship with the United States. The challenge is being at this crossroads and not really knowing how to proceed forward. We get the Magician card. This is Elon Musk, but I think more importantly, this is social media. This is people sharing their wishes for him, good and bad, on platforms such as Twitter, Reddit, whatever dark web things are going on these days, whatever encrypted messaging systems. In the past, we got walking away from things that no longer serve us. I think that was just yesterday. I think he said, okay, we're not giving away half the country to please the Felon. That's not really going to give us security. I'm gonna tank this. Get the Tower card. Explosiveness. Not really surprising that we're getting the Tower card. We get new beginnings around his health and safety. They're definitely thinking about his safety in a more concentrated way. They're not only just thinking about his safety when he's in Ukraine and traveling, but I think they're thinking about his safety when he's in the United States and other places in Europe. I think they're very concerned about it. They'll be double and triple checking things. Here's the Nine of Wands that I was seeing, the standing guard, putting up guardrails, ensuring people can't get to him that shouldn't be able to get to him. We get the King of Wands. He's going to come across as a passion. He already is a passionate leader. Those of us that know him, but there are many people in this world that just don't pay attention. He's going to earn a lot of respect for that incident. He's got circles of support in the hopes of fears. It's the hope, circles of support. We get the Chariot card, forward momentum, but that's also got another meaning sometimes for us. Being at a crossroads, pausing in suspension. This also, the Hanged Man also has another meaning for us. I think his life is very much at danger. Surprising new starts, unexpected partnerships, things under the surface, the Moon card, ill health. Being wounded in battle. I think he needs to be very careful. I'm not saying that anything's going to happen to him. I think they need to be very, very careful, is the feeling I'm getting. I think there are people that wish to harm him in the name of the felon and in the name of Putin. Okay. So that Chariot card popped up, and I thought that might have something to do with another reason why they blew up the meeting was to keep the media distracted. Was part of the intention of yesterday's debacle. The Oval Office meeting with Zelensky, the felon in university, was part of that. Intended to control the media cycle and distract. And if so, what was it meant to distract from? They're worried about things coming out. You can very clearly see that this is the image I'm getting is the felon and parts of his administration are here, and somebody's slowly building a wall with, masonry, cement, and bricks, trying to keep things from coming out. Very clearly see that. Whether this was a part of it is maybe a little bit here. Is this intended to get the media off of another story? Yeah, pausing and suspending. What don't we know? What don't they want us to know? The challenge is keeping the message contained, the Knight of Cups. If one plan doesn't work, try another. We saw that in action at the meeting. In the past, we get the Ten of Pentacles. It says wealth, inheritance, thinking about the next generation. It's in the past. That's when the Democrats were in charge. We get anxiety, sleepless nights, worrying about whatever it is they're trying to keep hidden. Near-term future, we get the King of Swords. This is consistency. I think we might see some non-traditional media really diving into what's going on. I don't think we'll see traditional cable television media doing it, and I don't think we'll see the traditional newspapers doing it. But I think some non-traditional media and maybe even some overseas media really looking into that because they're wanting to, what are they wanting? What's coming out of the skies, the Ace of Swords? They're wanting the truth. Everybody knows that what's going on is because the felon is compromised in some way. Nothing else explains it at this point. It's very obvious. Things will move quickly. We have deceit, deception. They're definitely trying to hide something with the Seven of Swords. We get the Knight of Pentacles. That's the fear, is that the message will get out. It's also probably the hope for people like us. We got a fiery new beginning, perhaps even some new leadership in the media. I don't think this is in the government. We get circles of support, and there's the truth. It's not out of the rock yet. It needs to be pulled out of the rock, but the truth is coming. We get moderation. Here's the emperor, that abuse of power, the presidency, the tower card again. There's just so much energy out there. The magician, that's the card for Elon Musk, but everybody's forgetting that it's about families and coming together. That is ultimately what government is supposed to be serving, is the people. And we get death. After death, we're moving away from troubled waters. I have often said and thought that the dirt that people have on the felon for entertainment purposes only, the dirt that the people have on the felon isn't going to come out until he's gone. I've often thought that. And then it'll come out and it'll change things. Let's just ask, what were they trying to keep hidden? What are they trying to keep hidden? What is the felon, university, other people involved in the circle? What are they trying to keep? I don't think it's just one thing. I think it's multiple things. I do see the Chariot card, but I also see the Six of Pentacles about repayments of loans and debt, possibly money laundering. I talked about that in some previous videos, manipulating the stock market to pay back loans and debts. What I think they're trying to hide whatever Russia has. They're trying to keep that hidden. Could it be possible that the whole blowing up in the Oval Office was ordered by Putin? I don't think it's implausible. Again, they're scared of the truth. They're concerned of the Queen of Swords. They're scared of consistent leadership. They're scared of people knowing what's going on or remembering how it was. There's a lot of things that we just don't know, that's unseen, and and they're dark. Some people do know them. We don't. Not we speculate. Making a deal with the devil, the Queen of Pentacles, it's in the past. Now that's not normally what this card means, but this is just what it makes me think of in this particular scene for some reason. So making a deal about money. having everything that they need to keep whatever it is they're trying to keep secret. They currently have it. The near term future, we get abuse of power. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more attacks on the media, if we see more media organizations being kind of kept away from briefings. It's also the card for the presidency. I mean, the tower card again. I mean, whatever it is it's explosive and it will bring the felon down. And I think it'll also bring down junior varsity. And I think it'll bring down several people in the government because they've known about it. We get strength and resilience. That's the people. Here's the six of Pentacles I was seeing. It's about repayment of loans and debts, money laundering. They're illusional, they're delusional. Seven of Cups. They're not going to be able to keep this hidden for that long. A message will be coming forward. Knight of Cups. And it'll be a new beginning. It'll lead to something that just is like a reset for the country. What are they trying to hide? Not exactly sure, but yeah, if one plan doesn't work, try another. We get the Page of Swords. This could be a spy in the camp. This could be the fact that they're actively working against the interest of the United States. It sure feels that way. We get the Devil card, abuse of power, mis and disinformation, drugs. Sorry, I paused there for just a second. Is he helping people traffic drugs? For entertainment purposes only. I've always thought, the Chariot Card was about trafficking. And I went to like the worst possible type of trafficking, but could he be helping people make money by trafficking drugs? Isolation, confinement, complete and utter downfall. Why? Because it's about the people. They're forgetting that the people exist. I wasn't going to pull two more than I was kind of told to. Planting seeds, death. I think that's when it ends, unfortunately. I don't think it ends before that. Okay. So, crazy times. Please take care of yourself mentally and physically. I appreciate all your support for this channel. Thank you so much.